We're always talking about story, but there are different kinds of stories and many ways to tell them. Long ones, short ones, different mediums and genres and so on. But what exactly is story?
What is story?
There are many ways to define what a story is. At its simplest, a story is something happens to someone.
What happened?
There are two more things a story really needs. For it to be an interesting story, that event, that thing that happens, creates a problem for your character, a conflict.
A conflict!
And your character reacts to this in some way.
Somebody do something!
So, a story is something happens to someone that creates a problem for them, and they react. At its most basic level, this is what a story is. A character with a problem, action and reaction.
What?
Now for a short story, be it a short film, a comedy skit, even a 30-second TikTok, this is all you need. Character, problem, reaction. For a longer story, a feature film, say, we just multiply and amplify.
These go to 11.
On a longer story, we have a central character and usually several other characters. We have a big problem.
Houston, we have a problem.
With lots of little problems along the way to solving it.
I don't like the look of this.
And a course of action that the character decides to take to solve the problems that they face. Or not.
Now is the time for action.
Choosing not to solve the problem is also a choice.
The best action is inaction.
What's important isn't that they solve it. What's important for the story is that they make a choice. They react. Even if their choice is to do nothing.
That's just lazy writing.
These are the ingredients of a story: character and conflict.
Conflict!
The next important piece that makes a story is structure.
Structure.
A short, simple story can have very little structure. A simple beginning, middle, and end. That's all you need. Something happens that creates a problem, the character reacts, and they either succeed or fail in solving the problem.
What was that beginning, middle, and end part again?
That's it. That's story. No matter how simple or how epic and complex it is, it comes down to those three things.
Character.
So let's talk a bit more about character. Most characters are human, but of course they don't have to be. They can be animals, aliens, gods, fairies, animated fish, or anthropomorphized inanimate objects.
You are a toy!
So physically, a character can be anything. They don't have to talk. They don't even have to move.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
What they must have, though, is the ability to make choices.
Make good choices!
A character who cannot choose for themselves is not a character. Someone in a coma is not a character. Someone in a coma where we can still hear their inner monologue is a character.
I've still got my feeding tube. When am I going to be able to feed myself? When am I going to get well?
They have consciousness. They have will. They can't communicate or do anything about it, but they still have an awareness of their situation and a desire to change it.
I am aware! I am aware!
Of course, a character who is able to react and have some chance of solving their problem is usually more interesting. But what about Wilson? Is Wilson a character? Tom Hanks certainly develops a bond with Wilson, talks to him, grieves his loss.
Wilson! Wilson!
But can a volleyball that has no volition, no will of its own, be a character? Or is he merely a prop that Hanks and we as an audience imbue with personality and choice? Is there a difference?
I would rather take my chance out there on the ocean than to stay here and die on this shithole island, spending the rest of my life talking to a goddamn volleyball!
Conflict.
Every story needs conflict. Now this doesn't mean people arguing or fighting all the time. That's just one form of conflict. All it means is that your character has some obstacle that is preventing them from doing what they want, or at least making it difficult for them.
Now, Gary, we can do this the hard way or the easy way. Or the medium way. Or the semi-medium easy hard way. Or the sort of hard with a touch of awkward, easy, difficult, challenging way.
There are many kinds of conflict, and I'll devote a separate video to this topic later. But for now, just know that every scene, every moment in your story needs to have a conflict of some kind going on, however small.
Come on, stupid. Oh.
This can be a problem that needs to be addressed, an obstacle that needs to be overcome, or a secret that needs to be kept.
It's a secret.
Often we, the audience, will know what the cause of the conflict is. This builds tension.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Sometimes we will not know the cause, but we can see something is not right. This creates mystery. In real life, we often get through our day without any real conflict. No dramas, no arguments, no problems. That's a good thing. But not in a story. Even one that is supposed to be real life.
Oh, hell no.
Stories rely on conflict.
Conflict.
And the more difficult it is for your character to overcome, the better.
Why is it so hard?
Structure and plot.
Structure comes first. This provides a skeleton for your story.
A tragic tale of romance, passion, and a murder most foul.
It can be dead simple or very complex, but there needs to be some kind of structure to the thing.
Structure.
The classic 3-act structure is the most common one used in films, but there are others.
We saw the Fellini film last Tuesday. It is not one of his best. It lacks a cohesive structure.
On top of this, you build your plot, the sinews and muscles of your story.
The plot thickens, as they say.
These are the beats and actions that make your skeleton move and make your story unique.
'Cause what makes you different makes you beautiful.
Your story can be very obvious and plot-driven, or more subliminal, more character-driven. These terms are a bit misleading because every story has a character and a plot. They just strike a different balance.
Balance?
A story without some kind of structure, however slim, is not a story. It's a home movie.
Our intention was not to create a story.
And a story without a well-designed plot is not believable. Because plot is action, and action is defined by character and their choices.
You take the blue pill. You take the red pill.
This is where a lot of writers screw up. Characters making choices to fit with the plot you've designed. The plot is forcing them to do things they otherwise would not do, rather than the plot being driven by their choices. Now, I don't mean bad choices. Characters can make bad choices all the time.
I immediately regret this decision.
That is often a good thing. I mean choices that are out of character or unrealistic, simply because the plot requires it. The tail is wagging the dog.
That's not right.
This is a balance every writer struggles with, and how you solve that will define what kind of writer you are and what kind of stories you tell.
Find your own voice.
Finally,
Theme.
our definition of story does not require it have a theme, just character and conflict. And there are lots of films that don't have any apparent theme. These are generally bad films.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Why are you telling this story? What are you trying to communicate? It doesn't have to be some big, earth-shattering, deep and meaningful message, but there should be something.
All you need is love.
Look at your central character and the journey they take in your story. Have they changed by the end? What did they learn?
I learned it from Keith Richards when I toured with the Stones.
Without being too on the nose about it, this change defines the theme of your story. The thing you want people to take away from your film. It can be something as simple as, life is to be enjoyed, or love is the answer.
All you need is love.
Or something deeper and a bit less cliched. Your character's journey ideally is an expression of your theme.
It's time.
done. Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
This theme, once you define it for yourself, gives you a focus and will help you build your characters, structure your plot, and write your story. I'll go into more details about all of these things in later videos, but for now, thanks for watching. Chukas.